Hi, everyone. Here at the end of week 5, I wanted to talk about the law idea and its impact on your classroom. I'm sure if you did the work this week, you read about it and you read some articles on it and read the textbook. But the one thing I wanted to follow up with is to make sure you're aware that this is something that will really impact your day to day future as teachers. Um, no matter what grade you want to teach, no matter what subject you want to teach, you will all be, at times, special ed teachers. Idea, what it is, it's a law that protects students with disabilities by allowing them to have access to what's called the least restrictive environment. What that means is if a student with disabilities can be in your classroom with accommodations, they're allowed to be in your classroom. So students that have uh, sight issues, students that have hearing issues, they're allowed to be in your classroom. But also students that have emotional disorders, students that have um, various learning disabilities, those students can also be in your classroom if there's accommodations that will allow for it. So, for example, over the last 15 years, I've had dozens, maybe as much as many as 100 students with IEPs. And these kids are part of the regular classroom. They come in, but they're allowed certain accommodations. So, for example, some students may need a little extra time on an exam, or they maybe get a little bit more time with homework. Those are just a couple of the more common accommodations that I've seen over the years. And one of the consequences of this law as well is that if I have a class where I have quite a few students with IEPs, I often get an aide or a co teacher. Now, when this first came up about 15 years ago, I was skeptical. I did not really want to have someone else in my classroom at first, but it ended up being a really great experience. And uh, what it allowed for was there were two teachers in the classroom instead of just one. So not only was I there instructing in English, but my co-teacher was as well. And her focus wasn't simply on the students with IEPs, but she wanted to help all of the students. And so on days when we were doing essay writing or we were working on a project, both of us were in the classroom helping students, which really allowed us to have more hands-on time. Also, she helped with grading, she helped with lesson planning, she helped with instructing, and all of those components made my life much easier. And so I can just say from firsthand experience that a co-teaching environment is great. And also having students with IEPs and 504s in my classroom has been a really great experience. And I'm really glad that the law is in place because it's allowed for students that in the past maybe would have been excluded from a mainstream classroom to flourish and be successful in mine. So, anyway, I hope that helps explain the significance of the law, and we'll see you in week 6.